Well, if you checked out the Iron Lung episode, thank you so much. This is episode 2 of the same day. That's why we're both wearing the same clothes. We're not hogs. We don't do this all the time. What we're about to do is becoming a yearly tradition, not only for us, but for our lovely bald-headed British icon, Mr. Jason Statham. This is the Real Friends Podcast. He released a movie called Shelter recently, and stop me if you've heard this before. Jason Statham's character is a previous military dude who goes out of the military world and tries to live as a hermit and encounters someone he needs to save, and then he takes it upon himself to save that person the rest of the movie. No, this is not a working man. No, this is not the transporter. This is Shelter.
Oh hell, I thought we
Now,
were watching a sequel to Meg.
or Meg, or the Beekeeper. But you know what? These movies rip, and we love Jason Statham. So, Jordan, I would like you to take a guess. How many movies do you think Jason Statham has been in?
In total,
Mm-hmm.
Transporter was a trilogy, right?
Yep.
He showed up in both the Meg movies.
4 Expendables movies,
Yep, four
multiple
Expendables,
Fast and Furious movies.
two Crank movies, Death Race. Yeah, a lot of Fast and Furious. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say, as are we 45?
So, here's a little fun thing. I don't actually know the answer. And you know why? Because Google's answer for that, Google AI says at least 62.
Oh, okay. At least he could be a
At
more.
least.
We Google can't find it though.
We will, despite this not being a video game adaptation movie, we will be discussing a video game adaptation movie with Jason Statham, one of my personal favorites, In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. So that will be on the docket at some point. But Jason Statham, we reviewed A Working Man last year. And yeah, now we went to see Shelter today, and the son of a bitch did it again, man. He did it again.
It's the same formula. This was probably one of the better escort missions I've seen in a while.
This, to me, this movie was a not a ripoff. I don't want to call it a ripoff, but if you enjoyed the Bourne Identity, this felt so similar to the Bourne Identity. He used to be a now he didn't lose his memory, but he used to be a part of this secret military organization, and now they're activating their sleeper agents to go after him. There's the scene with the sniper at the farmhouse, just like the Bourne Identity. Like, this is super similar, and I mean, if the formula works, keep going with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the television show Reacher, which I mean that very similar to the Bourne Identity also. I just I I went into this with high hopes and they weren't squandered. And I went into high hopes not expecting a masterpiece. I went into high hopes saying, good, it's a Jason Statham movie. I can turn my brain off and I can go along for the ride. I hate using the words movies are supposed to be fun because sometimes movies are meant to make you feel and make you question and et cetera, et cetera. But when I go into a Jason Statham movie, I know it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Whenever it's something like this, Fast and Furious movies have kind of lost me at this point. They're two steps away from going to space. That's the big joke. But I, when he's like just the lead guy, they tend to be a pretty darn good time for you.
yeah, and at least recently, right? The titles of the movies have made sense. To me, the title of this movie doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, when I don't even think you realized it was coming out till I brought it up, and you're like, Shelter, huh? I wonder if he's like taking shelter from a storm. And that's like this much of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's how the little girl is introduced to him, is because of a storm, but he's not really sheltering. Like, I don't know.
Well, I would just ponder a second here. Metaphorically, he is this little girl shelter.
Sure,
Yeah, I
sure.
think I think they were getting cute with it. Like overall. Like the trailer, it's oh, he's on the island, it's a lighthouse, lighthouse ain't working. Uh-oh, the military agents are coming. He kills them all. They don't go too much further in the trailer than that. Like there's some action scene and whatnot, but it's once you get off that island, there ain't a whole lot going on as far as like set pieces. It's boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
We're in London at the end of it, you know.
Did this movie feel similar to you to any other disaster movie?
Disaster movie, you say?
Hmm.
Uh, I as far as the waves and everything, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
So I was trying to figure out where I knew this director from. We are 1 month and 7 days into 2026, and this is the second film this director has released this year. He directed Greenland and Greenland 2, and Greenland 2 came out last month.
Okay.
So I was trying to think where I knew him from. He also directed, I'm sure you've seen this, Snitch was one of his first movies, the Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. He also made Angel Has Fallen. Yeah, he this it's funny though because it's been 3 years since he made a movie and now he has two in less than 3 weeks. So
I think it's more how Angel Has Fallen is a pretty good movie too, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's probably I don't want to say it wasn't his fault. What I'm getting at here is it's probably more that we're past the COVID area again. Like
Hmm.
2020, a lot of Halton movies. And Angel's Fallen was what, 2019?
Yes. Yep.
That being said, I feel like directors especially are able to really get in there nowadays, if that makes sense, that
Hmm.
you, they can do because unfortunately this is one of those movies where it's a lot of special effects to blind you more than anything, a lot of set
Sure.
pieces. Don't get me wrong, the club legit area. That was a warehouse that they dolled up and everything, you could tell that, but a lot of this was CG in a car for quite a bit, or green screen in a car, I should say. And
Or a
then
green
yeah,
screen boat.
yeah, green screen boat. Um, the car chases were cool though. You know, there were guys
Very.
stuntmen driving that was cool. Um, it, it didn't take a lot of directing chops for a Jason Statham movie, I guess, is what I'm getting at. This is one
Sure.
of those movies that he's going to play Jason Statham as bald headed guy, this time with a beard. Uh, and
Looking kind of old. Like
yeah,
letting the beard go and because he was, pretty much a clean shaven dude for a lot of his movies, letting the beard go and he's got some gray in there, man.
yeah, and the beard actually played part of the plot because of that photoshopped quote unquote terrorist that they put up for it. That
It's
beard on that picture was so bad.
it was so funny because we clearly saw like that's not him. What are they doing? That's not like they have all young pictures of Jason Statham. What's going on? Spoiler alert, it wasn't him, and that's actually a big plot point in this movie.
Yeah, it was just a a retinal scan.
It was a rectal scan, yeah.
Yeah, they caught him. They caught him in town there, and he had to use the porta john. uh, toilet humor still slaps sometimes, folks.
It does.
Uh, anyhow, let's talk about the movie a little bit. I guess I kind of just been rambling on about Jason Statham and some of the nonsense he's been in. But
Yeah.
how'd you feel about the opening scene? And when I say that, going right into the storm, since we brought that up.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, it set a good tone, right? Like these movies always have a good way of showing us like the world we're in, Like it's like, okay, we know he's this desolate dude. We know there's these people coming out and like bringing him supplies. It's one of those deals like the Circle with Joseph Campbell. Like you have the world that's established and then you need to
Mhm.
have someone come in and break up that world. Who knows how long he has been here, and that little girl and her uncle have been delivering him supplies. But for some reason, on this day, she brings him a gift, and he doesn't open it
Mhm.
because he probably doesn't want to get attached to people. right? And so the next week she comes and brings more supplies and knocks on his door. And oh boy, you know that nothing's ever going to be the same again.
Yeah, and the whole premise of that is, all right, drop it off, get in the boat. This girl's uncle said to him because there's a storm a brewing. Uh, sure as heck, storm brewed. She loses her oars, the boat capsides, and then her uncle dies. Surprise, folks. It's the whole premise of this movie as to why he's taking care of the girl.
Yep.
Um,
And you
and
think about it, it was Jason Statham's fault that she got hurt too, because that was his net in the water that tied up her
Mhm.
ankle.
Yeah, that's actually something that I wasn't thinking of. I was thinking it came off the tugboat. It very well probably could have been his booby trap also.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it says booby trap because then when the Alpha team comes, that's the same net dragging that dude into the water. Which, what a terrible way to die! You
Yeah,
get sucked up in a net and drug out to drown. That's insane.
not as bad. Well, yeah, drowning's pretty bad, but almost as bad as the fellow that gets hit by the kerosene lamp, and then Jason just
Oh,
shoots a flare right at him.
there, you can say a lot of things about Jason Statham. You can never say that his action scenes aren't badass.
Yeah, that was.
Uses any piece of anything he can find. If he had to use a balloon animal, he would and still kick ass with it. Like, yeah.
Uh, Jack the dog had a heroic attempt at yeah, the girl gets taken. Jessie is the girl's name, and I want to say, I'm gonna butcher her first name, but Body Ray, I'm gonna butcher the whole name. Body Ray, Breathnatch, I believe her full name is. Looking at IMDb here, she did a very good job.
She
Uh,
was awesome.
she stole the show for me. Uh,
Yep.
she's a young Irish English actor. She did a very good job at what she was given in this film.
You know, it's very funny that this is the second movie she's in because last year she was in Hamnet, which is just a gut punch of a movie that won Best Drama at the Golden Globes. It's nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, and she goes from that to a Jason Statham action movie.
She ain't getting an award, but she's adding to that acting credit.
15, she's either 14 or 15, and oh man, yeah, she was great in this. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, she has a good career ahead of her for sure. Um, do we want to keep hitting a couple plot points here? I mean, the movie itself is very by the books.
Hmm.
Like you said, it was a very uh, broad comparison to the Bourne movies and Jack Reacher and stuff like that. Uh, Basically, Mason is Jason Statham's character. Mason takes in Jesse, starts to get attached to her in a fatherly figure way, just taking care of her because that net that took her down that he saved her from really screwed up her foot. He goes into town after seeing that her foot's infected after a couple of days, gets some supplies, and wouldn't you know it, the internet is always watching. And uh, British intelligence, there was some black hat stuff going
It's
on behind the
basically
scenes.
Eagle Eye, the old
Yeah,
Shia LaBeouf movie. Yeah, it's basically
yeah,
the Eagle Eye technology. I do want to hit on one thing real quick before we do that. One thing I think they were trying to do, and it didn't work because Jason Statham's the actor and we all know him and love him. They tried to play on the fact that he was kind of abducting Jesse. Like, at least she was portraying it that way because she was terrified. She found a knife to defend herself and all these
Mhm.
things. Like, it was kind of playing on the idea of, oh man, this guy could like be taking me or something. Like, my
Yeah,
family's going to be looking for me. And for me, that didn't work. If you want to do that, you got to pick an actor that, like Mads Mikkelsen or like someone that looks a little more sinister. We know Jason Statham's the big teddy bear that's going to keep her safe.
yeah, and to that point, he immediately, as soon as she wakes up from a nightmare that he woke her from, uh, she pulls the knife on him, and he's like, "Hey, if you're gonna do that, this is how you do it." And
Yeah,
she's
let me
like,
train you how to use a knife. Yeah.
"Okay, you might not be taken, you might not be abducting me. This isn't a Liam Neeson movie."
Right.
So that gains a little bit of her trust. Uh,
Hmm.
Anyhow, he nurses her foot back to health, essentially, you get a little quick cut there of Parliament giving this guy under the prime minister who had this secret, operatives that are black kite
Yeah.
because
He
there's
was
no
the
strings holding them down.
he was the head of MI6. Yeah.
MI6, thank you. Uh, he, he's your antagonist for the movie.
And it's
He's
Bill Nye. Like, what do you remember him from?
oh, I
You drafted one of his movies, at least one. You might have drafted two of his movies in our movie draft.
oh my god, you're killing me right now.
That is
What's he
Simon
from?
Pegg. That's Simon Pegg's stepdad in Shaun of the Dead.
No kidding. Dude,
Yep.
I couldn't recognize him.
Yep.
Wow, okay. That's really cool then. Wow, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that because I didn't know the actor's name, but if I saw, Shaun of the Dead or A World's End, where he
Yeah.
shows up in there too, I would have as far as the voice, I knew the voice also. But
Yeah.
damn, okay, cool.
And I
They
believe that's how you say his name, Bill Nye. Like it's spelled like Bill Nighy, but I'm pretty sure he's Bill Nye, just not the science guy.
well, when you said that, I'm like, no, it's not. Did they make up him that good and he's doing acting? Because he did a good job. Um, so long long story short here, the whole what was it called? Tariff, whatever. The
Yeah, I think it's
overarching
Tara.
system,
Yeah.
Terra, the overarching system, very on the nose for terror. Um, it can do any surveillance, and if there's a high priority target, that system just knows. And there you go. Like puts this group of nerds to high alert. And there's the
Yep.
premise for the movie that, Mason is trying to hide from cameras until he's not. And uh, Jesse is now a priority target for Bill Nye's character of, oh, kill Mason, kill Jesse, because,
Mm.
you know, I need no loose ends. I've been trying, I thought this guy was dead, or, at least I knew he was hidden. I'm trying to get to him.
Yep.
Uh, that's the premise of the movie. Jason Statham's character is trying to get Jesse to a new life, basically, get her out of the game that she didn't ask to be in.
Yep. And we're gonna go into major spoiler territory for a second, so if you guys want to skip this, you can. But I didn't ask Jordan's opinion on it, and so I'd like to now. Very end of the movie, right? He gets her into that boat,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the gunshot. I was convinced that that dude was double crossing him and was sending the girl to the MI6 guys. So I thought it was them shooting at him. I feel like that's a twist that would happen in a lot of Jason Statham movies, and it didn't.
I feel like in this case, the movie knew when to pull back on the gas. As surprising as that sounds for a Jason Statham movie,
Because it
also.
did majorly hit the brakes here.
Yeah,
Like it was almost like a false ending, like when she gets in the because then like there's still a lot of things that were like loose ends that needed tied up, and they happened like that.
yeah,
Like they happened so quick.
yeah. You have the guy who is like the basically a sleeper agent. His last,
Workman,
yeah, Workman. I was gonna say his last name is Workman. I looked at you in theater, said, "Yeah, he gets a play on Working Man just for shits and giggles."
a
And
hundred percent.
it's even funnier though because Mason's buddy, who's like the big tech guy who pulled Tara's files so he could keep an eye on stuff before he left the embassy, um, he says to Jesse, that guy is him 20 years ago. And I'm like,
Hmm.
uh, not really, but yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Well, and when he said that, I had to like give a second look because instantly I thought of Will Smith's Gemini Man. I was like, this isn't like AI Jason Statham chasing him, is it? No, it's not. It's not.
No, it's just a guy who dies a pretty brutal death when it was all said.
Oh,
And
dude.
I have to say, Mason did a very shitty job at making sure this guy was dead. The whole this guy's chasing me thing could have been solved at the first car chase.
Yeah.
I seriously thought that. I'm like, oh, he's backing up to no, it's not double tapping. What like what?
It seemed like he didn't want to kill him because he empathized with him. And the reason I say that is like when they have their big showdown at oh,
Mhm.
what's his buddy's name?
Is it Khan? The fel
Shoot.
he's a trafficker, but he trafficked Jesse in a spoilers. He traffics Jesse away in a good way to get her to Spain.
Booth, his buddy
Booth.
Booth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When they're at Booth's farmhouse and they're fighting, and then there's that really funny moment where they both sit down like they're two old guys that needed a
Yeah.
break in the middle of the fight. The other dude is not an old dude. Jason
No.
Statham very much is, right? But it felt to me like he didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to keep Jesse safe.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think that's why when he's killed, it's so brutal because he's like, all right, I've got to finish this. And our whole theater was like, oh, because like he takes the chain, puts it around the pole, and just breaks his neck. And
Yep.
oh, that's one of the cooler Statham kills I've seen in the movie.
And to that point, he even asks them before they get into the climactic fight at the end there, do you even know why you're doing this? Would it matter? What
Yeah.
Workman said, like, okay, that just means you're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Uh what exactly I see I could talk about this movie and hit all the high points that happened. I guess I'll leave the floor to you here though. And you know, what are some things you want to talk about in this movie?
I think we hit most of them, like you don't need to go through point by point on a Jason Statham movie. Like they're
No.
all pretty similar. Like it's a escort movie, right? Like he's escorting her, he's hitting different checkpoints and things. There's high points with the club fight. These are just fun and as a way of seeing Jason Statham kick some ass.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you feel about the way he took out the Manafort character?
Like you said, loose ends were tied up very quickly,
Yeah.
and his was Manafort could have been more for what it was. I knew he was the antagonist when it was all said and done. I'm more curious if the prime minister knew his intentions at that point because she was a very one-off character also.
It
Um,
felt like she did because she said to him in their meeting earlier that hey, I need a scapegoat. I'm gonna
yeah,
relieve you of your duties. You're second in command, played by Naomi Ackie. Naomi Ackie continues to make cool shit. Um, the prime minister's like, you can go do your own thing, and then he says to I forget who he's talking to. He's like, I've got a blank check to do whatever I want now.
yeah.
So I think she was entirely in on it.
That's that's a fair assumption. I just she was left to the wayside. Bill Nye's character was, just shot. Like you see two guards knocked out. I'm going to assume knocked out. They're just guys doing their jobs. He's
Yeah.
probably not killing them at that point. And he goes in, kills them, and there you go. That's it.
So does he though? That's my question. So I have this philosophy on films that if you don't see somebody die on screen, they're not dead.
I'm
They
gonna.
didn't show us him killing him. It just showed him shooting the gun and that was it.
They could make a shelter too, and he, exists.
I think they're going to. I know they're making a Beekeeper 2 now. Um, and the way this movie ends makes me feel like we're gonna get Shelter 2. I think maybe you wait a couple years and Jessie is able to start doing things because she was pretty competent in this movie.
Yeah, she did have her moments where she is a teenage girl. She's got some spunk to her as far as I gotta help Mason. This guy's taking care of me. I gotta try to take care of him. I wouldn't hate that. At the same time, I'm worried that Shelter 2 is just going to become Taken.
Sure.
And
I
because
I think we need
Mace,
to see how Beekeeper 2 does first and then go from there.
I agree with that. It's set up for sequel bait, but at the same time, I know this is an R-rated movie and we've seen some gruesome stuff like 8 Days Later, a Bone Temple. Um, it's also supposed to be, like I said to you, this is going to be on TNT at
Hmm.
like 10 o'clock, and it's going to be a movie that dads are going to fall asleep in the recliner to. And that's not a bad thing, but
Sure.
that's what this movie is going to end up being when it's showed on TV. And I think that was a purposeful don't show him getting his brain splattered so that it's a little less editing when this goes to TV. That's
Yep.
my opinion on it.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Um, I do think, and we can talk more about this movie if we want, but I said at the top of this that it's an annual thing now. We see a Jason Statham movie and review it. I don't really want to wait until Beekeeper 2 to talk about another Statham movie. So I propose that we review Death Race a little later this year.
I think Death Race would be fun. Unironically, it could tie into the video game movie adaptations, even though the game is not it's not meant to be anything serious. It was just I don't know if I think the game came first and the movie came after. I could be wrong on that, but it fits.
And it's our boy, it's
Yeah,
Paul W.S. Anderson. So
he might be your boy. He's
he's our boy we've talked about recently, I should say, when
yeah,
it
yeah.
comes to video game adaptations.
That's a little better because I was gonna say that fella has his hands on Capcom IPs and oh, he sure does stuff with them. Uh, I am interested in Death Race though because isn't that one that was during the Grindhouse era where we make
hmm
films look really gritty and it looks like Gears of War and the Xbox 360 if our film
Very
filters.
gray. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the piss filter and everything because it's yellow, like gray and yellow. That's what we want right now.
And I don't really have any interest in reviewing any Death Race sequels because, Statham's not in them. But I think the first Death Race rips. So I'd be interested to see because I watched that in theaters when it came out. I'd be interested to see how I feel about it on rewatch. But besides giving our scores, is there anything else you want to talk about with Shelter?
Not really. I mean, this isn't as in detail as a working man, but I think we learned our mistake with that is, you can't really you unless Jason Statham's in something that's like a more serious role, like there's like a dramatic movie, which you aren't going to see him in it typically. There isn't a lot to talk about. You're going to go to this movie. It's got a very solid plot. It understands what it wants to do, and it's an action movie. It's similar to a working man in that case also when you think about it.
Well, and you talked about in our Iron Lung episode about Markiplier finding his feet and being comfortable in his content. We've done that too. We did a lot of point by point movie recaps, I would call early in our years, or
Yeah.
early in our year last year. We're a movie review podcast. We're going to tell you what we liked. We're going to tell you some high points, and then we want you to go see it. Because why would you sit here and watch an hour and a half of us talking about it when you could spend an hour and a half watching the movie?
That being
So
said, if you want the hour and a half recap,
hit the time card down below. We got you.
no, you know what you're going to go see, folks. Check the YouTube trailer out for this movie if you're interested in what the plot is at all, a little more in what we were talking about. But you're gonna have some solid action. Not really egregious on the CG for what it is. Like I said, the green screen car chase did take up 5 minutes of the movie, but it it ripped. It was another solid Statham movie that this could have been a good one for the summer, but I'm glad it came out in the winter.
I'm a little worried about the box office for this movie, and I'll tell you why. And it makes sense now that I realize who directed it, because Greenland 2 was marketed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the director's marketing budget went to that movie, because this movie wasn't marketed much at all.
No, it's looking at
Unlike
Wikipedia.
like unlike, a working man that was advertised for months,
Yes.
Beekeeper advertised for months. Like this movie in the past 2 weeks at theaters, I've seen trailers for it, but that's about it. If I wasn't so dialed into trying to see every movie that comes out, I probably would have missed this one.
Yeah, I hear you there. This is I don't say this in a negative way. This is definitely one that's catering to the Chinese movie market.
Sure.
Just and I'm saying that because it's a very similar case of Bruce Willis and how
hmm
he basically was doing movies for the Chinese movie market because he's a big name. He gets a majority of the cut of the money, and if they don't do well, it's a tax write off. It's overseas tax laws are different. They're still making money. Um, and the big reason I say that is this was under an hour and a half movie.
Yep.
No, this was just over an hour and a half movie. Um, and it ended quickly. I think they know this is going to go to streaming quick.
I'm a little concerned about Rick Romanwa, the director, because this is back-to-back movies of pretty high budgets that aren't doing well at the box office. Greenland 2 had a budget of 90 million. It didn't even break 30 at the box office. This movie, I don't know how this movie cost $50 million to make, unless they're paying Statham 30 million for his contract, which that's potential. It's only made 16 and it's been out a week. So little concerned about that. But this movie especially will have such a big life on streaming and on just linear television.
Yeah, I do you know anything about Punch Palace Productions or what was the other one that popped up? Cinemachine, Stampede Ventures.
No.
Uh,
I just know Black Bear. Black Bear that distributed this movie has been doing a lot lately.
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. The reason I was saying that is again unknown publishing companies besides Black Bear, because they distributed it. I, I don't know. I think this one's just going to kind of plummet. It's probably gonna. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna make 25 million. Period. And then once it gets to the overseas market, it'll make its money back.
So I might be wrong, but in clicking through, it looks like Punch Palace is owned by Statham.
Oh well,
He was an executive producer on this movie. So yeah, I'm wondering if yeah, he's the one. Yeah, I think Punch Palace is Jason Statham's.
all right. Well, he made his money back then for what it is.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah.
Cinema Machine doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So
Hmm. Interesting. Maybe they're new.
yeah,
Hard to say.
but
Well, final thoughts.
that's Shelter. Yeah, I don't have any final thoughts. I love Jason Statham and keep making movies till you die, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Rating wise, it's a Statham. Are we gonna have like? I know we do it for the video game adaptations. Are we gonna have a Statham meter here? When
Nah, nah, I don't think.
you don't want to have a 1 out of 10 with different facial reactions that he
I
has from
was
his
thinking, I
movies.
was thinking about the receding of the hairline.
There you
You know,
go.
have 10 different stages of that. But
The ten's like this right now, full beard and no hair.
yeah,
uh
yeah, because he did have hair in a couple movies early on, but
he knew better.
yeah,
uh Action movie for the summer. I'm not rating this compared to other movies in this case, but I'm going with like the fun scales where I'm at with this one because I know I wasn't expecting high dollar acting or anything. I give it an 8.
sure. Yeah, I'm at a I can't remember if I gave it a 6 or a 7 on Letterboxd, but I'm at definitely a 6, maybe a 7. It's I've seen 3 Statham movies this year that I've logged, and this is the second best. I didn't think it was as good as A Working Man. I thought A Working Man was really, really, really good. Um, but yeah, it's this and then the one. Which is him and Jet Li. And dude, him and Jet Li had some good movies together. They
Mm.
had The One, they had War, which that movie really ripped. Yeah, I think I'm at a strong 6 on this. I don't feel like Jason Statham can go much below a 6 because he's just so much fun to watch. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
And if this rating is more than my Working Man review, disregard it. Working Man is above this movie in my eyes, but we were trying to be a little more point to point and
Yeah,
really dissect the movie last year.
yeah. But sick, yeah, that's Shelter. So sorry if you feel like you're seeing Jordan and I too much. Too bad. This is our page and we really enjoy it. And yeah, we reviewed Iron Lung earlier today, reviewed Shelter now, and we'll see the next one we do, where it's probably another video game movie. I feel like, you know what? We're on here. We should decide what video game movie we're doing next. What do you think, Poe?
Did buy all the Resident Evil movies. I'd be interested in that. I think, yeah, I think Apocalypse might be the next movie. Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Yeah. That sounds good.
It's the one
So,
with Nemesis. It'll be interesting because you don't know a
and
freaking lick about it.
the only Resident Evil I have ever seen is the original one. So I'm excited to watch these other ones. So yeah, Jordan will be back for unless we see something earlier, who knows? He's still got a month left of Regal Unlimited, so we'll find out. But yeah, that has been Shelter and that's been Jordan. Thanks for coming on again, buddy.
Absolutely glad to be here.
And as always, I'm your host, Alex. This has been a double whammy Monday, and we'll see you guys next time.